In United States versus New Mexico, the Supreme Court determined the extent of the federal government's reserved water rights in national forests. The Rio Mimbres River runs through Gila National Forest in New Mexico. Gila National Forest was established under the Organic Administration Act of 1897. Congress intended for the federal government to reserve national forests through the Organic Act for the purposes of, quote, conserving water flows and furnishing timber for the people, unquote. In 1960, Congress passed the Multiple Use Sustained Yield Act, or MUSY, which held that national forests are established for outdoor recreation, timber, watershed, and wildlife and fish purposes. MUSY was supplemental to the purposes outlined in the Organic Act. In 1970, the state of New Mexico sought to adjudicate water rights to the Rio Mimbres. The United States joined the adjudication as a defendant, claiming that it had reserved water rights in Gila National Forest for aesthetic, recreational, wildlife preservation, and livestock watering purposes. The United States argued it had reserved rights to the minimum in-stream flows under the reserved rights doctrine. The trial court held that when the United States set aside Gila National Forest, it reserved the use of water that may be necessary for the purposes for which the land was reserved. The purpose of national forests didn't include aesthetic, recreational, wildlife preservation, and livestock watering purposes. The United States appealed to the New Mexico Supreme Court. The court evaluated whether the Organic Act, or MUSY, authorized the federal government's reserved rights to water in the forest. The court held that MUSY didn't apply retroactively and that it didn't broaden the two purposes for which the Gila National Forest was created under the Organic Act. The United States appealed, and the United States Supreme Court granted cert.